Hello, good evening. It's Monday, so it's Monday Make Time. We are going to be playing with September's box, and I have decided, I've had one of them days where I've been stuck behind my computer looking at a computer screen, so I have decided today we are just going to go for it and have lots and lots of fun, because I need to craft, I need to be creative. Evening, Lynn. So I've got a canvas, I've got my rather large tub of gesso. Don't know how I ended up with a giant one like that. Some tissue paper, and we're just going to have some fun. Get a lot, get very, very sticky, and just have some fun, I think. Because, like I say, been stuck behind the computer all day, so it's time to start crafting. Evening, Sue. So yeah, should we get going? I think so. Let me find the right button. There you go. That's my computer work done now. There we go. To be fair, this isn't computer work, is it? No, this is crafting time. So I have got, like I say, I've got my big tub of gesso. I have got a little canvas. It's only a little thin board one, so it's not a big one. It's only a little one. And I've got loads and loads of this tissue paper. You might recognise it from your orders, because it comes between the layers of acetate to keep them nice and flat, so we don't get any like bumps and things in our stamps. So I get loads of this. So I've decided we're just going to create a bit of texture on this canvas, because I like canvas. It's got a nice texture as it is. You can hear it, can't you, on my nail? But I want to add more. I want some scrunching and a bit more texture. Yeah, it is a big tub, isn't it? When I mean, I could have gone for a little one, but I went for the biggest that they did. To be fair, I don't think I looked. I just ordered, and well, I've had it ages as well, and it doesn't seem to be going down, which is good. Whereas I seem to go through these little tubs really, really quick. I'm going to use one of my paintbrushes, but I must remember to give it a good clean as well tonight. So all I'm going to do, oh no, I can't get the lid off. Oh, it's nearly there, hang on. Oh no. Oh, I've done it, I've done it. Oh, that would have been the beginning of the end, wouldn't it? I couldn't get my lid off. Okay, let me move all that gubbins that's around the edge. Could you imagine? We'd have started getting... I want to do this, but I can't even get my lid off. So I'm just going to add some to my canvas, because I want to add texture to my two corners, my opposite corners. There we go. And then we're going to grab some of our tissue paper. Thank you very much. And we're going to start scrunching it up. And yes, I'm going to have it hanging over the edge for the moment. I want lots and lots of wrinkles and dinkles in here. And we will tidy up the edges in a minute. Evening, Chris. There we go. So lots and lots of wrinkles. Again, lots and lots of gesso, just to... with my rather small gesso box, you know. A very little tub. I'm just going to keep adding. I want to do this top corner. I'm just going to keep, can you see I'm just adding little bits to it. Move it with my paintbrush as well to get more little, it's all about the texture. Turn it around, I might be able to make that bit look a bit. There we go. A little bit more on. Evening, Noala. So again, just going on. And I'm not being very fussy with this at all. I want quite a big bit in this corner, and then a not so big bit in the other corner. I like it to balance. There we go. Told you I was going to get sticky tonight. Oops. That bit didn't want to stick, did it? Didn't want to stick at all. Never mind. Yeah, it must be really boring actually just watching. I've got me trying dance with me tissue paper. So all I'm using now is some gesso. Yep, it's the transparent one, but it doesn't really matter for this. And some tissue paper, nothing special. I just want lumpy bumps. I couldn't decide if I was going to use pattern paper or my tissue paper, and I thought, no, I'm going to use my tissue paper because I've got loads of it. Evening, Mum. I'm just going to add a little bit more on. And I want it to be a subtle ending to me scrunching and me bunching. I'll just add a little bit more in. So lots and lots of texture up in this bit. Just going to flatten it, make sure it's all nice and neat. Just slapping it on, nothing special. I could have used me, what do you call it? Just my normal glue. If you just water it down a bit, your normal glue works just as well. But it has to be quite watered down. Yeah, you could have used the texture paste, couldn't you? But I know I won't get my lid off my texture paste. Whew. There we go, just a little bit more around there. You can see, can't you? I'm getting that lovely, lovely crinkling. It reminds me of Rosie's school top when she says she's ironed it, and you know she hasn't. Lynn was thinking the sticky bit tonight meant cake. Ooh. I never say no to cake, you know. Never say no to cake. Just want to make sure it's flat as well, because a little bit more there. Bear still owes me some scones actually. He promised that we were going to make some scones the other week and we've not made them yet. He decided he didn't want to. To be fair, he'd done his first football match at season and he was a bit tired. And then this weekend we were a bit busy. So maybe next weekend I'll get my scones. I'm just going to pop that around the edge. So can you see I'm just tidying it up? I'm not being... There you go. How neat and tidy does that look now up there? Let me just get rid of that big blob. And I'm quite happy with that corner. So let me just... I've got rather a bit of gesso on my desk. I've done it again. I've not got me... what do you call it? Spritzer. Let me just send a message because I know exactly where they are. They're in my demo box from weekend. So bear with 1 second. Let's see if he answers me. If we get over Saturday yet. I think we're all still a bit achy. It was a bit of a shock to the system. We've not done a show since July it'd be. So it was a bit of a shock to the system. I can't do that, can I? Just have to keep moving it so it doesn't get stuck to my table. I should have sealed down the edges afterwards, but was a bit eager. Again, I'm not going to do as much down in this bottom corner. Come on, stick. Thank you. Sometimes you just got to tell it what you want it to do, don't you? So literally this is what would normally be like a leftover. We might have a spritzer come in. We do, we've got a spritzer, thank you. I've just come to clean my desk and I had no spritzer. He ran back out the door. Man of many words is our Mr. Roo. Yep, we had Claire with us as well at weekend. We are a bit of a force, aren't we, when we're all on stand. Bear running around doing his jobs. Little lady doing stamps for me. And Claire was on the make and take table for me in the afternoon. So it was a busy old kind of day. Right, I don't really want much more. And then it wasn't until somebody mentioned it was strictly on Saturday night. I mean, we had to try and get home in time for Strictly. We didn't. We were about 20 minutes late getting home. But we managed to catch it up. Wouldn't have known. We did have a very, very messy make and take, didn't we? I've got to be fair, that's normally because Claire will do all the tidying as I make all the mess. And, well, I wasn't near the table, so I didn't do the tidying. She did shout at me for not tidying the table as we went on, but that's okay. Right, I am quite happy with this. I'm just going to flatten down my edges again, make it nice and neat around my edges. And then just because, can you see I've got my gesso and then I've got some of my board raw. I'm just going to put it over. So all that means is when I come to add some inks in a minute, and I can't decide if I'm doing brush out or I'm going to do some oxide, or I might actually do both. You never know. Might do both. Because as usual, I've got a bit of an idea in my head of what I want to do. I knew I wanted to play with tissue paper and glue. And that was about it. So we're just going to pop that over there. Yeah, Bear was definitely chopping stuff up, wasn't he? He was itching to use one of his boxes he'd bought. And so he chopped one up instead. Right, so you can see, if I turn it around that way, that's the way it's going to be. We've got a nice big patch of, like, well, texture. And we've got this big patch down in the bottom corner as well. Yep, so I'm going to leave that to dry. I'm hoping it's going to dry quite quickly, and I'm actually going to cheat. I'm going to pop it on top of my laptop. I know, don't tell anyone I said that. I'm going to pop it on top of my laptop so it gets the heat from my laptop to dry it a bit faster. There we go. And then I'll get my lid back on my very, very little pot of gesso. If I can get my hands around it. And then it can go back on its shelf. There we go. Right, that needs a wash. Let me pop it over there. So we've got our background kind of sorted. We're now going to work on our bits on the front. So I want some scrap pieces of card. It's a good job he's brought me my boxing, because I've just realised I've got no stamp bases on my table either. Evening, Maxine. Yeah, I just had one of the moments. Not brought my demo bag in, so I didn't have anything. But it does mean I've got kitchen roll now. It's always fun. Right, we've got a spritzer. And where's it gone? Where's it gone? There we go, that one will do. I think I'm going to leave that over there. Right, see, all sorted now. Thank you to Mr. Roo for running in with my demo bag. And we're just going to, oh, black ink. Should be in here somewhere. There it is, right down at the bottom. There we go, right. We get there in the end, don't we? I used to be really organised and have workshop stuff and demo stuff, but because we don't do as many shows these days, I ended up using all the demo stuff, and with COVID and stuff. So I just end up with it all in one place now. Right, so these big leaves, we're going to, I'm going to do 3, I think, for that top corner. Oh, they are big, aren't they? I thought I'd get more on a sheet of card than that. There's 2. Let's use this one. There we go. So you can see on my little very sticky board that I've just put my thumb back on, we're going to have these coming down from the top. So I think 3 and maybe 1 little one might work in that top corner. And then I'm just going to do probably 3 little ones in that bottom corner. And the answer is no, it's not drying very quickly. So I've got 3 big ones and I want 4 little ones, don't I? Let's take that one off. Let me grab a smaller stamp place. My 4 little handies. Yeah, Claire got stuck with the till on Saturday as well, didn't she? That was funny, to be fair. She was mortified. Because normally at shows, Mr. Roo does the till. Because none of us touch it, because it's like Arkwright's, you know, from, what was it called? Open All Hours. You know, it's like Arkwright's till. It literally, it gets you. And you've got to like stand on one leg and, you know, hope it works for you. But for Mr. Roo, it just works. He's got that touch. But so the rest of us avoid it. Apart from Rosie, she's starting to get better with it. And Claire ended up having to go and work it for us on Saturday while Bear ran off for a few minutes. And he'd locked it. And Claire didn't have a clue how to undo it, but nobody knew it was locked. So that was quite funny. Hi, B. So yeah, it was one of those, it was funny. At least we all laughed. Claire laughed in the end. The rest of us were laughing. But it was Rosie that fixed it. Right, I'm nearly there, I think, with these. So I have got 1, 2, 3, I need 1 more. This one. So we have got a rather messy background that isn't as messy as it's going to get. We're just hoping it dries a little bit more. I will get my heat gun out on it if I really have to, but I don't particularly want to. So I'm just going to dry these because I know I want to colour these in. And then the whole question is, what colour do we colour them? I don't want too much colour on these because my background is going to be really, really colourful. So again, I am using VersaFine Clair. Whilst it is a fantastic ink and it's a very friendly ink and it's a very easy ink to use, it does take a while to dry. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a blast with my heat gun. And just make sure it's all dry. I've got some inky pinkies on this already. That's not a good start, is it? I think I might just go with green. Green for my leaves. Because I want blues and purples, I think, in my background. Blues, purples. Or, if I do blues and purples, I might do... Oh, the decisions. Green, or do we go with more of a red? It's hard sometimes, isn't it, when you've not got your background finished, because it's drying, knowing what colours. So I'm either going to do green or red. Not red, orange. Like autumny. Might do autumny. And then keep my background blues. Yeah. So I'm going to grab good old faithful gamboge. And do, I think, I want a bit of brown with it. I'm gonna mix it up actually. I've got the I'm gonna, haven't I? Sorry. I'm gonna. Can't get my words out, I'm that excited. So I have got my gamboge and I've got ground espresso, and we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna start with my big ones though first. Move them out of the way. So good old gamboge on here. I want to keep it quite light. I know that sounds daft when I've got my ground espresso out. So I want areas of white still, because I'm going to have that really, really dark and, well, really colourful background. It's not going to be dark. It would help if I took the catch off my water bottle. Just going to grab a little bit of my brush out. So I don't want too much. She says, and then she gets going with it, don't she? I know what I mean. So I'm going really, really watery and leaving nice big spaces of white, because then it'll help it pop over the top of my background. Not the most complicated colouring in at all. Well, it is, because I tried to remember then which side I've done. So I'm just blobbing a bit of colour on one side. I will say, if anyone's on that ordered a personalised stamp at weekend, they are all in the post today. We got them done and dusted this morning. We were like a machine. Did the negative, Mr. Roo did the stamps, and they are out the door. I think they were in the post by 11. About 11:15 they went in the post, because I tried to get the morning post on them. I'm hoping I made it, because it's 11:30 the first post goes of the day. But it was lovely. We had so many different ones to do this week. It's been really nice. Oh, and the rain's back. Bear had forest school in the rain this morning. I'm painting, aren't I? I'm just jabbering away. Bear had forest school this morning in the rain, and it must have been really rainy when he went out, because it was like before break this morning they had forest school, so before 10:30. And when we got in from football tonight, so at 4:30, his bag was still dripping wet. He got that wet in forest school. So he'd been in his locker all day, wet through, with his book bag and his football kit and his coat. Literally dripping. And they've been being Vikings today, so for some reason being a Viking means roll around in the mud. But he had fun. Even if he didn't wear his coat, but we won't go into that. Pouring rain, wore a jumper. But he wore his coat for football, so you know, he got there in the end. There we go. So I am just adding a little bit of our gamboge, because I think it's a wonderful autumny colour. And then not too worried about cleaning my brush out on that one, because I'm going to go to a darker colour. Look at all that gamboge I've wasted. Read that into it. Okay, just need to make sure my desk is dry, because I'm going to put some of that. It's still sticky as well. I told you we were going to get a sticky mess today. Some of our ground espresso. And I'm just going to go back to the first ones I did. Again, I've put way too much on my desk. I don't need this much. Yeah. Oops. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit. And what I'm hoping is that the chalkiness of the oxides will stand out against. Ooh, that was a bit dark, wasn't it? Because I'm being silly and having my hand just waving in the air. Will stand out against my brush. Now I'm just going to pick some up and just fill in our stalk with it. There we go. Not, again, it's not really complex painting. Like last week, we just splattered it on, and that's literally all I'm doing this week, is just splatting it on again. Just adding a little bit to it. Oops, I've done it again. Gone on really dark. I've gone really dark. I'm just going to go and put some water on it. Had a bit of dark there, so you don't notice that I went wrong there. Well, I didn't go wrong, I just went a bit heavy-handed. And just adding in tissue. I can tell my brush is starting to get really, really wet, so I just need to dry it out at the top. You can see, can't you, how much water's in the top of my brush. I'm just going to colour in my stalk again. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And now the other decision we've got to make is not to stick your finger on. See, this is why I end up with inky pinkies everywhere. Look at the state of that. So the other decision we've got to make is, are we going to add any veins to them? And I don't think we are. I know we could, and it did look really nice, but I don't think I want to. Absolutely happy accidents we're having tonight. Lots and lots of them. That's what playing is though, isn't it, when we get to play. And again, not the neatest of painting, it doesn't really need to be, because we've got such a loose design. Oh, you can hear the rain. It's raining again. Meant to be getting hailstone and everything, aren't we, coming? I can't even stay in the lines. There we go. And then my last two. It does sound good on the roof, doesn't it? It was that moment of like, oh, I hope you shut the door properly behind him. Maybe, maybe not. But I can't hear them playing trains. With the rain, I can't hear them playing trains in the playroom. You normally hear the odd crash. Right. There we go. I am quite happy with them. I just need to clean out my paintbrush. It's got really dark brown in it, hasn't it? So we don't want that. We don't want that at all. I'm the same, Bee. It's everywhere. I just get inky pinkies, which is why if I do something that's got a lot of white space, I am super proud of it, because it is an achievement for me. I know that sounds really daft, but it's a big achievement if I get white space without an inky pinky on it. And it's also why I tend to stick my sentiments on and layer my sentiments on things, because it gives me the chance to go and cover up a inky pinky. Right, you can see they look pretty cool, don't they? Just giving them a good dry. I'm hoping that gesso is starting to dry. The next one. Oops. And you can see I've not kept in the lines very well, but it's not going to matter because we are going to cut them out. If I'm really bothered, I might go around with my white pen in a little bit, but at this moment in time, we will see. This one's really bad. It's because I put too much water on it. I might just tidy that up a little bit with my white pen in a minute. It's those little things though, isn't it, that it's you see them, other people don't, because they're not looking at it like you. They're looking at how cool that piece of artwork is that you've created, and you're looking at it going, well, I went wrong there. Right, so I'm going to grab my white pen. Just grab my paint pen because I can't see. It was on my desk, you saw it, it was there. I don't know where my gel pen is. Probably in my bag that's on the bit next to me. And if I wanted to, I'd just use my pen. If it wanted to give me a bit more paint, it'd be nice of it. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit on here. tidy it up ever so slow. I always see all the issues that I've done, my inky pinkies and all sorts. And then but you don't see those issues when someone gives you a handmade card, do you? You think, oh wow, how have you done that? And as we always say, if they're going to be that picky and see the issues, then they didn't deserve the handmade card in the first place. Right, stop leaning on it. I'm trying to see if I've got a different pen. I've only got a couple on my desk looking at me. So I'm just adding a few little bits of white because I think it'll look quite nice. It looks quite good on the ground espresso bits. There we go, then we'll get these cut out. And I know it looked like that ground espresso was going to be a bit of a jump because it is quite a dark brown, but I think it's worked quite well with our gamboge. Because I don't think tea dye would have been a good enough jump. There we go. Just adding little bits to it. Obviously you are going to take more time than me. I'm on a mission. I'm gonna get this done. And the funny thing is you're probably going to end up cutting a bit of this off anyway when you put it on the on your canvas in a minute, we hope. If not, we might be onto a two-parter. Might be doing a mastermind. I've started, so I'll finish. Right, there we go. And then I just... Ooh, no, we're still a bit wet up there. Got a few more minutes yet. It's really strange. There's some things I just don't like using the heat gun on. Right, so all I'm doing, I'm cutting these out with a little bit of a border, because like I keep saying, that background is going to be really, really colourful. So we're going to want all this. We want a little border around it to make it pop, because if we don't have that border, it's all going to merge into one. So by having a little border, it draws your eye to it. It gives you that nice little, it's almost like a matte layer, isn't it? And we'll do the same with our sentiment when we pop that on as well. There we go. I like that one, B. No one else knows what it should look like. Absolutely. To be fair, it's a mystery most days what it should look like for me. Because I have this idea. And then, yeah. My idea kind of gets changed. Lost along the way. Like I said on Wednesday as well, I really struggle doing like batch making and things like that, because the first one will not look anything like the last one. So like at the shows, if I'm doing the make and take, what I start out with in the morning is nothing like what we end up with at the end of the day. So I am cutting all these stalks out, but I know I'm going to be chopping most of these off. So they are, and they are a nice easy leaf to cut out. Oops. Just going round and round. So did I, oh, I'll start that one again. I start half a conversation, don't I? So did anyone else watch Strictly at weekend? We've still got The Last Dance to watch, because we just didn't get around to finishing it. It's taken us 2 days so far to watch it. We're normally a day or two behind. Nearly there with this one. There we go. No, I forgot it was on. Well, we didn't know. It was only a lady that sat on the make and take, and she went, "It's Strictly tonight," and she had to do something before Strictly was on. I was like, well, "What do you mean it's Strictly?" And then literally we all started, like, well, we all shouted to each other, "It's Strictly tonight." Never even gave it a thought. And then Bake Off starts on the 26th as well. That's another one Bear and I like to watch. Gives us an idea. Maxine says none of it has never turned out how they should. Well, they do, because that's how they should end up. I think sometimes I just forget what my idea was when it started out. My idea in my head obviously wasn't good enough. So it changes, evolves. The only time I do make myself do what I set out is when we do our craft alongs, and I know I need to get one in. We've not got one in the date currently. Again, my words. We haven't got a date for this month, have we? It'll either have to be this weekend or next weekend, so I'll have to have a look. I know, nearly there with the cutting out. I'm sorry, it is a bit of a boring task, isn't it? Trying to think what else I've got to tell you. All the ATCs are on the website, so all the personalised ATCs, all the ATCs that you can personalise are on the website, shall we say. The Halloween stuff will be on there tomorrow. Because like I say, I started to do a job on the website this morning and I just ended up down a rabbit hole doing other jobs. I never actually got to what I was meant to be doing. That's one of them days, isn't it? Niall's asking about Birmingham and how often it is. It's normally, he does 5 a year. Next year I'm pretty sure he's going to 4. So it's February, May, July, September and then November. I can't remember which one he's dropping next year. Or he was talking of dropping one next year. So it was 5 this year. I'm pretty sure it goes to 4 next year at the Motorcycle Museum. Because we always struggle with the July one because it's just before before school holidays. So we always struggle. It's always a last minute one for us, that one. Noala's messaged me about our witch's hats. Oh, the ones we were working out. I need to put my brain in gear before I start speaking, don't I? The ones we were working with on Saturday. I was going to say Sunday then. Yes, I think we should have a few left. 2 left to go. I think if I've got any. There we are. Yeah, those witches, the little witches hats are super old. Actually, if Mum's on, it'll bring back memories. Hang on, let me turn that around. Here's one of the ones we made. Oh, that one's not got a name on the back of it. Could be a Claire, that I suppose. That one's not got a name on the back. Naughty, naughty. Ah! Look who eyes just found. There we go. That's the witch's hat. Oh no. Okay. So that's what we were making at weekend. That one's not got a name on back either. There's just a few of them. So we had our little bats out and our little hats. So those of you who've been with us for 4 years will recognise our little bats and our little hats. And there was some books and brooms as well. I've just set something on a landslide. I can hear it all moving. That's that noise of like it's gonna fall over. It's gonna go. If you hear a big crash in a minute, you know why. Everything's just gone kaboom. And the Halloween word, the word art one. Yes, we've definitely got them. That's a newbie. I'll have to find my little bucket. It is nice looking at some of the older stuff because it reminds me where we started, and it's still really useful. There we go. Right, last one. Whew. My poor little hand's going, no, no more. Oh, I know what I can tell you about as well. So, I think I've mentioned that Rosie got some pufferfish. Just some little peas. I call them the Puffington peas, but I think that shows my age and what I used to watch on telly. And in her tank, we also had some snails. Now, don't worry, the snails were too big to go in Mr. Pufferfish's mouth. But we've got this one snail, and I know it's the same snail because he's the zebra snails. And so the brown with like yellow stripes on them, but this one's only got one stripe. So he's like really dark, kind of this colour brown with this one stripe. So I know it's the same snail. I know it's not any of them having a laugh with me, but there's this one snail, and I can almost guarantee every time I go in and I have a look and say more like hello to peas, there's this one snail and he's on his back. So me being the dafty, I go and get my big stick, my sand scraper thing, and I turn him over. And every time I go in, he's on his back. But obviously, he's a snail in a pufferfish tank. He's just a dafty. He's gonna get eaten one day, and I won't be there with my little stick to turn him the right way over. But he does it every single time. I'm sure he waits for me to come in the room, and he just looks and goes, "Ah, she's back. I'm gonna roll onto my back." Right, you can see where this is going now, can't you? Just like that. But we want to do a bit more with our background. We've got the right number of leaves, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to give this a quick dry because it's still very tacky, and I want to finish this off. I don't want to do a two-parter with it. I'm just going to give it a bit quick dry. I'm going to have to do it quite lightly because we don't want it to lift the tissue paper too much or to bubble it. Just means I'm going to have to be really careful when I'm putting my ink on. Me careful never. So that's changed what I was going to do, I think. I'm just giving it a really quick dry. And then we're going to have to choose our colours. No, I got the new pumpkin. Yeah, the front of the packaging does make it look tiny, but he's not. He's a nice big pumpkin. And the spider. The spider's quite cute. Rosie wants the spider bigger. Not quite sure what she's got planned for the spider being bigger. She wants the spider bigger. I would show you, but they're in the... I might have the spider actually with me. I know the others are stuck to boards from the weekend. And I've not taken pictures of them yet, so that's even worse. Right. I'm going to not heat that anymore. Yeah, the pumpkin spider, the one at the bottom that's got legs. Right, so I'm going to leave that there for a minute. I am going to put more colour onto it, but I'm going to choose my colours and then reheat it. Let's see if I've got the pumpkin spider next to me. I know not all of them went on board. I'm faffing, aren't I? I'm sorry. There he is. The little pumpkin spider. Oh, he's been moved. Yeah, so that's on that set. So you've got the pumpkin with the bat wings, you've got the little pumpkin heads, and then you've got the pumpkin spider. All on that set. They will be on the website. I just haven't got around to doing them today. I did some of it, not all of it though. So, colours. I want blues and I want purples. Give me peacock feathers. There. Peacock feathers. I want some of that lovely villainous potion. I might even do a bit of pink in the background. Now I'm changing the colours, aren't I? I didn't want to do that. I don't want to overdo it. I do want villainous potion. Or wilted violet, because I can find wilted violet. Wilted violet's in my hand. I'm going to go to my same colour palette that I normally do. That's really bad. Really naughty of me. I do. So at the moment, that's going to be our colour palette. She says and then throws her arm right in front of it. That's going to be our colour palette. I think should work quite well. Though I did want it nice and big and bright. Right. Right. Let's go for it, shall we? Before I end up getting all the inks out. And then... Right, I'm just going to give this a final bit of a dry. Because it's still a little bit... Not a lot, but a little. We don't want that, do we? And now bearing in mind, this has got gesso on it, so it's going to react differently with my inks. It's going to give it more of a, well, you'll see, the ink will kind of spread a little bit on it. So, I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to go with this one if my brush is alright. Get some of that colour out of my brush, look at that. Right, that should be okay. So I have got salvaged patina going to poke your eyes out with my brush. I do apologise. We're going to start getting a good base layer to this. I want lots and lots of colour. And then we'll start getting into all these nooks and crannies. So it's going to be desk rocking again in a minute. So I'm going to cover this whole thing with this gorgeous salvage patina. Me and my leaves are going to fall out if they don't start behaving. The whole table's rocking. Though, I did ask Mr. Roo if we could swap my desk out for a slightly more sturdy one the other day, because I forgot it was up in the loft. He said we might be able to, so no more rocking desks. So we're nearly there with this. So lovely base colour. Just got to be careful because I do keep picking it back up with my fingers. So we have got our salvage patina. I'm going to go straight for my peacock feathers. And we're just going to, I want it that way, so I want lots and lots of texture down there, and then we're going to add just little accents of colour. Let me grab, oh, I don't know where my purple brush is. Now there's a problem, but I do know where my pink one is. My good old Aldi paint brushes, eh? So again, I just want to pick up little bits of this. And just really gently on some of my wrinkles and my crinkles. I'm going to come back in on my wrinkles and my crinkles. So I'm being really, really gentle. And I'm being really naughty as well. I should be cleaning my brush before putting it back on my ink pad. So that's why it's getting a bit of cross contamination, can you see? So what I should do is get my kitchen roll. I should be being a good girl, shouldn't I? Being really gentle. Again, you can see all that ink I've picked up. I'm just going to get rid of it again. So pick up my pink. And I get a much happier ink pad. Yeah. It's all right. I think I'm going to leave the pink and we're going to go straight to the purple. I'll put them back in there before they get me. Now with this one, oh, that's not purple, my pink one. I'm just going to grab my edges. I want to start bringing it all together, and then just super gentle. Can you see on my wrinkles and my crinkles? And then just be careful because it'll need to dry. So I'm not going too hard on this at all. I am around the edge. But when I'm coming onto these bits, I have to move my tissue because it's getting a little bit... You've all gone super quiet on me now. Really, really gentle. Picking up that lovely blue. Purple even. Yep. So, go in a bit more if I want to, so you can see how these guys, look at that, it's just going to pop, isn't it? And I know I've gone to my go-to colour scheme, but it's worked, and I quite like it. So I'm just going to grab I'll just turn my desk purple now, that was clever, wasn't it? There it is. So I'm going to get my bobbles, because we can't not use my bobbles. I like my bobbles. Oops. That wasn't good. Nope, we're still on. Just clicked my mouse. Never a good thing when I click my mouse. And all I'm going to do with my bobbles, get that yak off the back of it, is just ink up a little bit of it. And then, oops, I'm just going to just use a little bit of what I've just inked up. I am going to do it over here as well, but you know it's not going to stamp properly because we've got that lovely crinkling. Trying to see if I've still got any ink on this. If not, we'll go in. Okay, let's go and grab a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to grab my peacock feathers. I'm going to turn it around and do my peacock feathers the other way. I've got any blue left on that now. No wonder it's not ink, it's stamping when I've not got any ink on it.